Yes, what about the rest? Yeah, Yemi, it's my. You can just type on Yemi. Yes. Oh my God, you two are the best.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's very nice. For the rest, you if you don't if you didn't read right, just respond lah. Like at least I know. I wouldn't scold you lah.
I just roughly got through only. Sorry.
Okay, go. Hey, you are my coachee. Yeah. Okay, so okay, let's start. So how we're gonna do this is first I'm gonna brief you through what is the OD model, and for you to know is when we talk about OD model, you don't have to be so scared because what happened is the OD model is basically the same the one that I present to you in NPM that time, but the thing that's changing is actually just like the design and also more comprehensive and more finalized. Yeah, so that's the thing that's different. So for you to know is like how the OD model was designed. It was to fulfill our stand as I said Malaysia to Malaysia, which is for United Malaysia, which we want to see a proud and action driven nation that embrace diversity and take ownership for a better Malaysia. Yeah, and then yeah. So we actually hold our stand by developing leadership through cross-cultural exchanges. That's why in the end of the day, our OD model evaluates like how LC are performing in terms of delivering more cross-cultural exchanges, because this is how we deliver our promises, which is our stand through cross-cultural exchanges. So that's why when we design OD model is the question that I'm always asking myself is how can I make sure that I can design a model that allow LC to be able to grow disruptively and also sustainably. So to make sure that your growth is something that is huge at the same time is something that can be maintained and continues for the next coming 3 terms. So these are the measure of success for the milestone to make sure that Malaysia stand can happen, which is for United Malaysia, which is our realization and also our complete goal. Because in the end of the day, how Isaac, like the clarity of why, how, and what, and the clarity of what is the cross-cultural exchanges, and how Isaac actually deliver impact and develop leadership is actually through cross-cultural exchanges, and our promises towards Malaysia is for United Malaysia. So it automatically makes sense that realization goal and complete goal should be the measure of success for our Malaysia stand. So these are the things that we want to do for the coming term. And if you can see that like as MCP elect during my term itself, it will be 18-19. So it will be, you can see the goal right here is 18.2 and 19.1, and then my successor will be 19.2 term 20 and then first semester. Yeah, so that's the thing for you to know. And for you to know is OD model is designed, so these are the things that I already explained to you. So to be honest, this OD model booklet is super comprehensive, and it's for you to understand like before that for you to understand like, how we design a model that allow you to able to grow in sustainable and healthy way. And it's very important for you to read through the model and understand the model before you read SONA report, so that you actually have better understanding on what does the indicator means. And read through this booklet is very important. I will gonna briefly explain to you what is OD model means. So OD model actually means that this is the way that we choose to develop our organization. Because one thing is we have resources, we have like people, like finance, and like operation, our processes. So what are the way that we actually want to evaluate whether our organization is growing or being successful or not is actually based on the OD model indicator. And this is the way that we decided to focus on so that we can really grow healthily and disruptively. And the model itself serves as the base of our strategy. So in the coming when I educate you on how to read the SONA report, you can actually understand more on like how does the indicator itself actually give you more guidance on like how should you design your strategy so that your LC can be more can be more healthy and also more performing in operations. And this is a tool to provide guidance and alignment of the organization to ensure healthy growth, and it drives behavior and strategy as well. So like what kind of behavior that we want the entity to see. So in the OD model, you see that we have health index. We want to see networks start to maintain the organizational growth, not just making sure you can achieve super high growth. And then after that, the next term people will be start dropping, your successor will be suffer because you do not manage your member experience or you do not manage your finance well, and then your successor suffer. In this OD model, we want to make sure that when you grow an entity, you actually take care of your member experience. You actually take care on how you allocate your financial resources. You actually take care of making sure that your organization is actually having a stable income to make sure that you can actually be sustainable. So here's a behavior that we want to drive through the model itself. So this is for you to understand like what does OD model is. And yeah, and then for you to understand that this OD model is actually letting you to understand that how are we performing on last month and what's the thing that we can do in the coming month so that we can really improve our performance. And it actually gives you guidance on which aspect you should be improved on, and also helps you to understand your reality and make decisions to improve the reality that you are in. And the OD model focusing a lot on short-term performance and the result, at the same time building a stronger infrastructure for future performance, like improving your talent capacity and financial strength and customer experience. So how do we decide the indicator in the OD model is basically based on the current needs of the entity. So we see that what's the thing that this entity need to improve on before we can upskilling ourselves or evolve ourselves to be doing something greater. And these are the basic thing that we see that our network are not doing, and then we want our network to start practicing it and doing it so that we can really growing to the stage that we want to see in the future. Yeah, so why does OD model exist is basically to grow disruptively and sustainably. So disruptively means able, like one entity, like one LC, like for example, Isaac in Langkawi is able to grow just from 5 to 500 within a few weeks. And sustainable means that after they are able to grow from 5 to 500, this growth is able to maintain for the next coming 3 terms. Rather than this time they grow to 500 and the next time they start to drop really, really badly, then this is not sustainable. And this is not something that the OD model trying to shape in this entity or this network. So how does the OD model works is there are two key elements. One is performance index and one is health index. So to let you know is, this is how the whole OD model will look like. And in each monthly report of your SONA report, at the third page, you can see the OD model graph here. And you can see that where your LC are. So if your LC are at this page where the health index is more than 7, and the performance index is more than 7, then you are in a high performing stage, which means that you are doing really well in your performance and in your health. But in last month, when you look at the report, your LC is here, then you need to know that you are not doing really well in your both performance and also your health. And if here, you know that, like if for example your is here, then you know that like your health index is actually worse than your performance index. So you are driving your performance, but at the same time you do not really maintain your or build your capacity or really maintain to make sure that your financial will be sustainable. So here's the thing that for you, the good indicator for you to understand where you are right now. And for you to know is in the performance index, there are 3 key indicators. One thing is relative growth, which means that every month in, like for example, we look at the peak. So for example, OGV peak in March is approval. So what is your approval current in 2018 compared to your approval March OGV in 2017? So how much growth does it have? How many percentage? And also plan versus actual is how much actually you are achieving based on your goal. So we wish that LC when they set goal, they will not see goal as something that just put on the spreadsheet and after that you just like randomly having action step and just want to implement and having some random number, but you're not actually doing it strategically, making sure that you are hitting the target that you set every month. And so that you can actually achieve the final end goal. Because the best way for you to achieve the end goal is to manage every single goal that you have every week, really doing it consistently. It's not about doing great thing once in a very short period of time, but it's about in a long period of time, always achieving something very consistently and always achieving every weekly goal that you set. And then this is how you can actually achieve the final goal that you want to have in your term. And after that, process speed index, which means that how fast your LC is actually converting from applicants until approved. Because the longer time it is, the more it will like award you getting more approval, because people will be losing out in the process. Like no one want to wait around 30 days to get whether they know they will get a project or not, because it's very competitive. That's why we want to manage the process speed time so that you know that you can convert faster, and then it is how to drive better result in your operation. And then for the talent capacity is we measure your PA response rate, PA score, and team standard implementation. Which means that like how many people are actually having a performance appraiser in your entity, and then how much score they are having, and what is the team standard implementation. Why this is important is in order for you to make sure that you are able to perform, it's very important for people to understand what is their KPI and how people are achieving their KPI so far. And team standard implementation, just as simple as are your team leader are managing a team or not. Because if your team leader do not know how to manage your team, or they are not doing it good enough, then basically your team is not going to be performed. People do not have any performance review. People do not have a team space. There is no one-to-one to talk about performance or talk about the team. So these are the things that a team leader need to do so that we can make sure that we really build people capacity and able to deliver more exchanges. At the same time, they are also having very satisfying experience where there's one team leader who facilitate their learning and helping them to understand that this is so far they have been learning. Because in the end of the day, doing either is tiring, sometimes it's like sometimes you feel tired, burnout, but in the end of the day, it's about having someone to facilitate your experience and understand that how much you grow and being fulfilled by the learning that you got in the organization. And this is how people actually wanted to continue to stay in the organization. That's why that's the thing that we want to work on, talent capacity. And then after that, financial strength is to make sure that we measure your LC sustainability, like how much your LC is able to cover your direct costs, indirect costs, and still able to like gain profit, able to cover those product costs and indirect costs, this kind of thing, so that you can make sure that your LC is able to sustain by itself. And product sustainability as well, like how much the income can cover the direct costs and indirect costs. And then if your income is not sufficient to cover just direct costs, it means that your product is not sustainable. Like the way you're running your product is actually causing more loss, and your entity will not be sustainable because you will not have enough financial resources to do investment or just spend the money to at least having a booth in university or having any marketing initiative in your university. And after that, debt ratio is to measure like how much your debt your LC is having, because when you're having a lot of money on hand but you are having a lot of debt, it's actually not showing that you are having a lot of money. If once you pay all the money that you have to the debt, you clear all the debt, and you have no money, which means that your LC is actually not sustainable. So it's very important for us to evaluate, and also for you to know that like that, this kind of thing, you need to be conscious in managing it. And then after that, months of financial reserve is for you to know like how much month that you can survive without any income. And then after that, complete index basically just measure the conversion from finished to complete per product. So to make sure that this is the part that making sure that the experience that we deliver is actually providing a very good and high quality customer experience. So that we can actually make sure that the customer that go through our exchanges actually are satisfied and they are really developing leadership in themselves, which is something that we want to do. And in the end of the day, we want to achieve for United Malaysia, and it's actually to develop more youth leadership. And this is the thing that we need to do to make sure that we really can complete those experiences so people can really develop themselves. And this is the thing that we are working on. If I don't send notification of that will come out. What? Okay. Just close that. Okay, cool. So I'm not going to go in detail on how the calculation will be in because this is very technical, and but in the end of the day, it's about how can you utilizing the data in your report. So for you to see is like you can see that we put more weightage on plan versus actual index because we want to make sure that you really emphasize that a lot in your LC. So as a team leader of the entity, it's very important for you to know that achieving the goal that you set every week or every month is something essential that need to be happening in the team, and goals should be something that treated seriously, and it's not something that you just put it on a scoreboard and every day you just look at it and and then you just randomly doing some action step but not making sure that you are keep on track on that. Because every year in the end of the day, like when people having like Alman awards and things like that, it's always making sure always the team leader like the EB team, EBMT team are the one who will take accountability of the goal that they set and making sure that they can achieve it. So that's the thing that we want to drive in the network. And then for health, you can see that we put more emphasis on complete index because this is like how we want to make sure that we can actually providing a better experience. And complete basically is our final measure of success for the organization. That's why we want to put more emphasis on that. So here's like the details on how the calculation works and what is the weightage. So for example, in your report, you will see something like this. You will see like, for example, Angkawi is in underperforming stage. And if you see like the health index is around like almost 7, and then the performance around or like 5 something, 5.5, then you know that, okay, if I want to go to high performing, I need to make sure that I improve my health index from like 6.5 to 9. And then I need to make sure that I improve my performance index from 5.5 to like probably 8.5. Then I can be in high performing stage. So these are the things that for you to work on. So later I will teach you step by step on how can you use SONA report to do analysis. But that's all the explanation for the OD model. And after that, for you to know is you will see that there's a product here. So how do you differentiate between OD model and product tier? Is actually OD model is like a growth model for you to understand what's the thing I need to do every month to make sure that my LC will be in performing stage. So it's something that you can always implement and you can push forward, and it's something that can be changed different month. So it's like a touch point indicator for you to know that, okay, in last month, does my LC is actually performing or not? Then you look at that. But for product here, it's something that to show you that how was the volume that your entity has been doing so far. So your LC can, like for example, you can be either in Langkawi, like you have been delivering, like for example, 2,000 exchanges, but in OD model you have been in underperforming, which means that currently, in the past and also in the current quarter plus the past 3 quarters, you have been really performing in your operation. But right now, by that context that you are a high volume LC, you can still in the underperforming state, which means that your people are still not doing talent capacity enough, like your financial resources is still not managing good enough, and your operation, like your performing stage, you are actually being very slow. So it's something that is more reflecting on your current stage of the organization. And product tier is something that help you to see that, okay, on the path, current month plus the past 11 months, how was my entity performing so far. So it shows you on a lot of on the past, how was your LC product volume, how do you used to do how many volume for your product. But OD model shows you like in the current stage, are you actually performing or not, is your entity really maintaining the maintaining the growth that you are having in the past terms or not. Because if you look at your OD model, you can really forecast that is your entity going to drop in this term, or is going to continue growing in this term. So this is the thing that it helps you to understand. So and then if, like for example, if your LC is at a startup stage, which your number of product, like your number of realization and complete is very low, it can still show that your LC is in performance stage of OD model, but the volume of exchange is still low compared to the mature state LC. And your LC can still produce high volume of exchange, but with these resources that you have, you can be underperforming in OD model. So this is for you to understand product tier play as a role that for us to understand what is the volume that your entity is doing. And then this you can see like which tier, and then what is your product in. So for example, if you do 20 realization in OGV, then your OGV is in startup. If you do RGV 120, then you are actually in mature state, which is tier 1. So this is for you to understand like which state your product tier is. And we have growth strategy, so you can actually look at the growth strategy. How can I implement my growth strategy to make sure that I'm able to grow from tier 4 to tier 3 in my OGV, things like that. So this is the thing that for you to understand, okay, this is more on like your product strategy. And this is for complete as well. So so that's all. And then after that, we look into what is SONA means. So for SONA, it's a tool for MC to collect data from LC, especially the data that cannot be extracted from XBAR. So one thing that we have is XBAR, which you will see your exchange performance monthly. But something for you to know is like for example, how frequent are you doing AGM, and how are you implementing team standard? It's something that we cannot get it from our XBAR tool. That's why we need to do SONA to get those information, so that we can actually do analysis on how LC is doing so far. Because in the end of the day, MC can only like growing as a whole, like the whole Isaac animation can grow as a whole when MC really understand which state each LC in, and then we provide the specific support to really guide the LC to able to grow. And then this, you can see the relationship of the OD model and product tier and SONA, which means that every month we will send a SONA survey, and then after that we collect data based on OD model indicator and other indicator, and then in product tier realization we assess your LC current product volume, and after that in OD model we assess your LC overall performance, and then the OD model help you to improve your product tier, as in when you really make sure you're high performing, like you achieve your plan versus actual, you achieve relative growth, which means that this term you are doing better than last term, and then also you make sure that your process time is really fast. Basically, you can actually really foresee that your product tier realization will be growing as well, because when each processor like approval is growing, then your realization will growing as for sure. And then also and then understand your product tier when you implement the growth strategy that designed based on your product tier, and then it can actually help you to improve your LC performance as well, which means that if I look at my OGV is at tier 4, and then I'm reading the growth strategy to help me to jump to tier 3. When I implement the strategy, it can actually help me to able to achieve my plan versus actual for approval in my performance index indicator. So basically, you're also pushing towards high performing. So you can see that this is how like both of them co-working together, and this is the relationship that you can see for overall. And then SONA survey just for us to get data to see where you are in your product tier, where you are in your OD model. So this is the slide that you can read by yourself, which is MC services. So for MC services, we design services based on your past summer performance and your current summer targets, and then we see like what kind of strategy that service from MC that we can give to you to make sure that you can achieve your goal. So so you can see the more details in here, like LC profile and also MC services. So basically, it's a network management routine that MC will have with the LC. And for you to know in OD model, how can we make sure that we can help LC to improve their position in OD model is through LC visit, LCP 1-to-1, and NEBM, which is National Executive Board meeting. So for LCP 1-to-1, your LC coaches should be the one who are letting you know like how was your report, like how was your analyze the report together with you, understand your LC reality, and then giving you suggestion on what kind of strategy that you should take to improve your position in your OD model so you can be in performing stage. While in product and tier and performance index, we have growth strategy that designed to help you to improve, especially on your product tier, and also achieving the goal plan versus actual as well, process time, and also making sure that you can achieve growth. And after that, functional physical visit, like these are the thing: commission meeting, functional newsletter, functional coaching, functional summit, and internal communication are the touch point that we have from MC to guide you to be able to achieve your product goal and product growth as well. Yeah, so that's the thing that we design based on the product tier and also OD model for the MC services. Yeah, so that's all for the presentation about the OD model. So before I proceed, do you have any questions? Hey, you all can
So
type
far.
in the group. So far, no. Okay, cool. Nope. What about Kaylin, Chow, Yeming, and then Iggy, Ricky, Melissa?
No.
Okay. Oh, there's one chin on. Okay. So, this is Roger. Who is this? Who is ROU? I don't remember.
Hello from SUM.
Okay, hi, nice to meet you. Oh, proxy. Sorry. Okay, so yeah. So oh my God, sorry about. Okay, so for you to know that, yeah, this is the thing. If you really get more insight on how you can understand the OD model by really reading it, and then to let you know that if you have any questions you want to ask, I will always be there for you, and then I will answer the doubt that you have. Okay. So after this, we'll proceed with the how to do SONA analysis. Okay, so let me go for the material. Okay. Okay. So, hey everyone, welcome to the next education. It's about how to read SONA report like a pro. Okay, so this is very important for you to know that a lot of times we send SONA report and people will be like, oh, this report is good, but actually what is it? Like people don't really know how to use it. And people really don't know how to understand it as well. So right now it's like, okay, we come up with the data, a beautiful report with beautiful graph, but in the end of the day, if you do not know how to use it, or you are not using it for helping you to make a better decision for LC, basically why do we have a report in the first place? That's why this session is very important for you to understand, like, okay, how can I really read SONA report? How can I use this data to help me to make a better judgment about my entity, and then making the right decision for my entity to make sure that my entity can grow? Because all of you here are the president, and you really hold a very important key making, like decision making, I would say authority or power in your LC. And at the same time, knowing how to read this SONA report can help you to have conversation with your VP as well. Because when you communicate with your VP, doing performance review, these are the things that you should be referring to. Talking to your VP, OGV, like how are you performing so far? This is what happening in the product. Like how can you make sure that you can improve in next month so that you can do it better? So these are the things that whole SONA report actually provide you a lot of perspective. So it's time for you to really learn and understand how to do it, how to use it. So before I start, I just want to let you know there are a few SONA facts, okay? So the first fact is there are two types of SONA report. So some of you will be like, what? There are two types of SONA report? I don't even read any SONA report. So I didn't know there are two types of SONA report. So for you to know is, there are one type of SONA report called AM data report, and then there's one SONA report called LC data report. So during the end of the month, in the beginning of the in the beginning of the month, like the first of each month, your LCP will receive an email, which you will receive an email about SONA report. So SONA survey. So we will say, okay, from 1st until 5th of each month, make sure that you fill in the SONA survey. And then after that, maybe like 10, like 11, 12, then you start to receive another SONA report. So for you to know is, every time you receive a email that looks like this, Okay, so you can see that, okay, this is AM entity report and this is your LC report. So most of you probably just go to your own LC and you don't really look into AM entity report. But AM entity report serve a very good like for you to actually learn from each other. So for you to know is, for M data report, it will shows you each LC data based on the OD model indicator, and you can know who's doing really well and who's not doing really well in the indicator. And you can really use this data as a way for you to identify who you should learn from and really get good case practice from this LC. So for example, if you're looking at this booklet, so like for example, AM entity report, right? When you go to the M entity report, you will see, okay, so right now it's February, it's about this month, and then I'm looking at my LC banding first. So for example, if I'm LC CU, this month I know I'm doing pretty well in my performance index, so I'm almost here, and then I'm doing pretty well in my health as well, but it's not good enough for me to get into a performance stage. But I know that my performance index is doing pretty well so far, and yeah, probably I'm currently performing in my own state law. And then after that you will see, okay, so how this is how many number of product I'm actually running. So I'm CU, I'm currently running 2 product. And then I know that like currently I have 26 realizations, which means that my OGV tier is actually at tier 2 scaling, and then RGV is 47 realization, which is at tier 2, it is tier 3 as well scaling. So this is for you to understand which state your product. So you know that CU is not a high volume LC, but they're actually like medium. They are still not small, so they are like medium volume LC. And then right now in the medium volume LC, they are actually in the high performing state. So you will ask yourself, okay, if I high performing state is 7.3 and 6.06, what's the thing that I'm doing so well that I actually achieve very high in this? So later on we will get back to you on that. So, and then after that, you can see, okay, in OGV relative growth, who are doing really well right now? Applicants, based on that number of applicants. So you can see that for the growth itself, UNMC is really achieving high growth, KP and UTP as well. So you need to go to them and ask, okay, so what's the thing that you do really well in that? And at the same time, you also need to look, like, for example, UTP, the goal that they set is actually not that high. So whatever they achieve definitely is going to, like, is going to be seen very high. So when you pick people to learn, or example, you can learn for example, sorry, this is not goal. This is the previous month achievement, sorry, my mistake. So like, for example, if you see that, okay, how from 2 to 8 approval, then you can know, okay, and UNMC is from 3 to 14, then you can, okay, what's the thing I can ask them, like what can I learn from them, so that I can actually make sure that I can achieve this kind of growth. So you can ask your LCBP OGV to talk with the UNMC LCBP OGV, especially like for example UPN. So you can talk to your LCBP OGV, hey, talk to UNMC, and then see how do they do for applicants and things like that. And then this IGV relative growth. So you can see that, like, yeah, like you can look at the percentage. Like if you're 0, right, like sometimes definitely whatever you do is good. So you can see that one of the reason why CU are having high performance index is because this product itself, IGV, they actually achieve a lot of applicants, which means that in 2017 they actually have 0 applicants, but this time they actually, I think they do their they play the timeline ahead, which means that they start to attract more people earlier. That's why they are actually having growth together. And also UM as well, you can see this thing. So these are the things for you to understand, and UTP as well, although the growth is not significant, but it's still growing. So these are the way that how it contributes to the growth, and yeah, and coaching able to maintain. The rest has been dropped February in applicant. So you can like ask, like, okay, see, what's the thing that you've been doing, like how can you actually increase so many? Because when they having 82, they are actually top 3 as well. You see, like they are just top 2, second of UM. So you can ask UM, what's the thing, what kind of initiative that you're doing are attracting applicant. So these are how you can use the M data report to actually get more GCP from people and really learn from people. And yeah, like for example, like looking at plan versus actual. And then you see top 1 is TU, coaching, and UNMC. So for TU, because the goal that I set is low, and then because they are not the summer peak LC, if your LC is a summer peak LC, it's always good for you to refer another summer peak LC which are having higher goal, so that the percentage itself is actually making more sense. So for example, if you look at yeah, like if you try to look for more like UNMC, like their goal is 18 and they are achieving 14. So yeah, it's pretty high for goal achievement. And for Sunway and TU, Sunway has 0 goal, which, to be honest, yeah, these are the things that we are trying to avoid in the next coming report, which we will need to understand, like why do you set 0 goal, and then not just allow LC to put 0 goal, because when you put 0 goal, of course everything you're gonna put is gonna increase your score. So that's the thing that we're trying to work on, and it doesn't make sense that you're implementing something but you are striving for nothing. Like, you don't have a goal and you're just doing something randomly hoping to achieve something. Then if you can achieve something, then why are you not achieving having a goal in the first place? So these are the things for you to learn from it. And then and then these are the indicators that you can see based on the ranking. Like for example, OGV, process speed time. The one that has longest one is TU. So you need to understand that, okay, if I want to learn to have fastest, I need to refer to UTP. And you need to understand, if UTP is the fastest, is it because they have very low goal? Like, is it because their number of realizations, number of approval is actually very little, that's why it's fastest? If it yes, then you need to refer the second highest, and then you see, okay, so you need to see, okay, the volume and also the data. So this is a way for you to be more critical in understanding the data, not just looking at it, but also looking at the number as well, the number of achievement. So if you, for example, you look at the fastest is UTAR, and then you can just go up, and then you can just look at the report itself, and you can just look at, okay, UTAR. And you can see a UTAR OGV only have 8. So probably the reason why they are fast is because they have small volume. But still, you can actually learn something from them. Like for example, how can you make this 8 so fast? And then, or you can go for another entity that has high volume but is fast as well. So maybe the second entity we can look for is like the second highest would be probably like UM, JB, or KP. Yeah, KP, UM, JB, and KP. So you can just go up here and then you see, okay, UM is 6. Sorry, this is complete. UM is 18, JB is 13, and then Penang is 27. Is that third one is Penang? Wait, I don't remember.
It's KP.
Sorry, getting old, man. Okay, yes, KP. So it's 24. Then yeah, KP would be a very good choice for you to really learn. Okay, you're doing quite high. At the same time, I want to know, like, their processor is not the best, but you actually can get something. Okay, what's the thing that you do that, yeah, your processor is best, like it's better than the rest of it? Because like for example, UPM has 14 only, but their processor time is longer than KP has. UPM, they only have like 20s. You know, theirs is higher, is a best example. Like for example, like UMP only have 6, but their process time is actually longer than KP, who has 24. So this is the thing that you can see, and then you can learn from the data a lot. So to be honest, data really speak a lot. So you need to refer, but not just relying on one indicator to help you, but really looking in more aspect on helping you to understand which are the entity that you can really learn from and talk to. So this is a process field, and then after that, health as well. You can look like, for example, this is sustainability. Like for example, with most of our product is not really sustainable, only OGV. So you see OGV, CU is pretty sustainable. That's why they have quite high health index, because their OGV is sustainable. And then JB as well, KP as well. So these are the top 3 LC has very high sustainability in their product, OGV product. So you can actually ask them like, their LCP FL, like what do you do? What's the thing that happened? And because the thing is, a lot of time you have data, but you do not know what is the context of the LC. So it's very important for you to ask like, okay, what's the thing you do? What is happening in this entity? And then when they tell you, then you understand, okay, I'm doing this because we have been achieving our approval a lot. That's why we get a lot of income. Or I've been achieving because like this was because this is current quarter plus the past 3 quarter. Most of the money is coming from the last third quarter, so it's actually not really contributed by our term. So we're still sustainable by now, but because right now we're underperforming, so we may have sustainable problem for product. So this is important for you to understand the context that you are in. That's why you can make a better judgment on how your LC performing. So for example, if you look at the health part, like for example, talent capacity, you can understand that, okay, like for example, average PA score, like CU got 10, that's why their health index is very high. But at the same time, when you look at PA response rate, CU is got the highest as well. So it makes sense that like, okay, their performance index actual, they also have quite high applicant, which means that it's aligned. Like people are performing, people are doing KPI as well. When you set clear KPI to people, and then people are achieving their own KPI at the same time, CU is also achieving the goal that's set for the plan versus actual, and also for the relative growth as well. Mostly on relative growth. I don't remember on a plan versus actual. So this is a part on how you analyze your whole LC. How are they doing? And then for example, entity like Kuching, Penang has 0. Definitely, like you do not know, like if you don't, people don't set KPI, people do not know what is their target, then definitely will be hard for your people to be performed. And then you can actually see that in their performance index is actually not that high as well. And And then, for example, yeah, like Sunway, it's good that they are achieving like 100% response rate, but yeah, like so far the average score is only 78.6. So you know that, okay, how can I improve to make sure that my people, is it they need more skill, or they need more knowledge, or yeah, like or they need the right attitude so that they can improve their performance. So this is the thing that you can ask your LCVP PM, or you can sit down and discuss together. Okay, how can we improve this so we can improve our performance index indicator? Yeah, and then after that you can see yeah, team standard implementations. Like for example, CU, one of the thing that perform quite high in their performance index because of they also implement team standard as well. And if your entity, like for example, you're not implementing standard, like for example Kuching and Penang, you can see that the entity probably in like not really performing stage. Like for example Kuching, I think is behind here, Penang is also quite low as well. So this is a stage for you to understand it as like how can you make sure that your team leaders start to take team standard implementation more seriously, so that it can actually bring the department or the product to be able to grow. And also yeah, like you can look on that, like this is the thing you can look on it. And then like for example UCAM is also not implementing, yeah, like UNMC is also not implementing, like only 1.3, and yeah, the rest yeah, the rest is like implemented but in medium. So this is the thing that you collect information and then you understand the bigger picture. So for AM data entity report, basically is a space for you to know who can I learn from, like hey JB, how do you actually achieve 90%, hey Someway, what's the thing that you do that actually help you to achieve, because my people, like my EB is not listening, like they are not implementing, can you teach us how can you do it? And then this is how you can learn from them. So this is the thing for the AM entity report. And then another report is LC report. So if I go to the Penang, wait, I think I downloaded. Wait, let me just, okay. I downloaded it, but I don't remember how I name it. Okay, so for like for example, if I refer to Penang, so this is for you to understand like how does AM data report serve a role itself. And then after that, for LC data report is, okay, this basically LC data report, there are two parts. First part is it shows your product data. It shows everything about how was your product doing so far. And after that, it shows your LC data as well based on the OD model indicator. And then after that, in this data report, you can know overall product and also LC performance. And also you know which part that you can do to improve that. So right now, I will provide with the step-by-step guide to teach you on how can you use your LC data report. So step one is, to be honest, the first thing that you really need to do is just at least open and download it. I do not know how many of you actually download your own SONA report or you actually read through it, because that's a basic thing to do, right? Like if you are not really like open it, you don't care, then basically there's no beginning of like understanding a whole report. The first thing that you need to do is really open it and download it. And then the step two that you can do is briefly go through the whole LC SONA report. Really just go through from first page until the last page. Oversee how does the whole report look like. How was the report being designed? What kind of information is being provided on the front part? What's the information are being delivered on the last part? Then you will know, okay, if I want to know this part, like how was my performance doing, I need to refer to the first part. And if I want to know how was my LC doing, I need to refer to the second part. And the step three, it just first part is your product performance. So if you know that, if you look at your first few page of your SONA report, is basically on OGV, IGV, IGET, IGE, IGT, OGT, OGE. So for example, I use Isaac and Penang. So when you go in your SONA report, you go into Isaac and Penang. So you click on that, and after that, yeah. So you just go here. So this is a part where you understand the whole OGV. So when you look at this, okay, here's my realization, here's my complaint. I know that my OGV is tier 3, so my OGV is not really high volume. And yeah, the performance has been dropped. Penang used to be like tier 1 or tier 2 in OGV performance. So you know that, okay, my performance has been dropping, and then right now my entity become a tier 3. My volume is below than the medium one. So you can click to the growth strategy link here to understand, okay, what kind of strategy I can do so that I can make sure that my entity can improve the scaling, the tiering. And after that, you look into OGV. So here's the part that you need to ask yourself. When I look into the report itself, what's the thing I wish to get out of the report? And here's the thing. First, you need to look in what is the plan versus actual of the product. How was my product plan versus actual so far? Am I hitting my own target in February? how was my process time? Is my product convert fast enough, like from one stage to another? And how was the conversion rate? Is it high or is it low? Is it higher than the average or lower than the average? And then technical efficiency, how many, by the number of members that I have, is this department really utilizing the number of members that I have, or is it underutilizing? If it's underutilizing, then what are the rest of the members are doing? Why we are having 10 members but we still cannot hit our target for applicant? Is it because we are not implementing our team standard, or is it because we are not doing our PA? Yeah, so and then after that you look into team management. Okay, let's see what is the PA response rate. 0. There's no KPI set in the team member. Of course, maybe you have 10 people, but these 10 people do not know what they are doing. They don't even know what kind of target they are setting. Then how are they going to perform it? And after that you look at team standard implementation. 0 again. Your team leader are not leading a team. They are not doing anything they should be doing as a team leader to lead a team. Then this is how for you to understand how was the whole product growing, not just about the goal, but also on the people aspect part, and also profitability. This product, is it driving any profit or not? And if it's driving losses, then okay, then I know that how should I what are the strategy I should do so that I can increase my income? What are the strategy I should do so that I can reduce my expenses, so my LC will not able to keep losing money on the product itself. So for you to know, I will use Penang as a very good example. The first thing is LC goal versus actual. You can see that I set 181 sign up and I only achieved 25. 29 applicants and I achieved 14. 7 accept, I overachieve it, and then approval, I overachieve it, which means that your accept and approval is doing pretty good. And if you look at the data, you know that, okay, to be honest, my especially applicant to accept is a very high conversion. And when you have the data, you put in the context. So for example, you know that in February your VP OGV has been asking their friend to be the one who be EP. That's why it's very easy to convert. So this is a part you understand that, okay, so the reason why I'm overachieving accept or approval, not because of certain strategy that they are planned, is because my VP are the one who asking their friend to be the one who joining. So I know that in next month when my VP run out of friend, like there's no friend anymore that you can ask to go for a change, then I may not able to achieve my goal. So what's the thing I can do in March to make sure that I can achieve my goal? So these are the questions that you should be asking yourself. And also look at the day that you spent. Like for example, 4.9 days from applicant to approve, which is actually lesser than the goal that you set, and also the national one, which means that people are actually pretty fast, the whole process on how people get applicant and approved. So you know that, okay, I'm doing quite well in my process time, but I'm not doing well in my goal versus actual and things like that. So you know that my conversion is good in applicant to accept and also accept to approve, but not so much in it's good in sign up applicants as well because of the friend. So I have a very strong conversion, but I'm not achieving my goal. I'm not achieving the volume that I set in my goal. So this is the thing for you to understand. And I have 11 members. I have 8 members from OGV. So out of these 8 members, if you look at like the applicants per OGV member, which is 1.75, then you see, okay, am I doing it good enough or not? Because based on my goal, I should be achieving 1 applicants, I should be achieving 29, but I'm not achieving. But still, my members are actually pretty productive, like almost 2 applicants. So what's the thing that I should be doing to make sure that they can achieve the goal by this having 8 number of people? And and then also applicants and also approve as well. Like this is almost 1, it can be good enough. Like now one member does not even contribute to 1 approved. So what's the thing I can do to make sure that at least like each member can actually achieve 2 approved so that I can achieve my goal? So you look at, okay, my goal is, for example, this is 5, so they actually overachieve it because they don't put that much emphasis on approval. But in coming month, I'm gonna have 20 approved. So how can I make sure that 8 member can, how many each person should contribute to achieve 20 approval? But then you can see that there's no PA response rate being done. There's no PA average score being done. There's no team standard being done. And when I was planning for my sustainability, your VP are planning to have losses. Then you need to ask your VP, like, why do you plan for having losses when you do budget, you should be always planning to have profit? Because as an entity, you need to make sure that you're able to sustain and you're able to generate profit for your product. If your product is giving you losses, then it's something that's very concerning. Then this is a time for you to have conversation with your VP FL on why do you plan for losses, and understanding that like how can you doing it? Because when you look at the actual, you're actually driving profit. Then what's the thing that your VP is pessimistic about the income and product cost? And then how can you revise the budget or things like that, so you can make sure it fits more reality? And then for IGV, So for IGV, you can see that, okay, the applicant is very lower than expected, and then yeah, there's no goal set by accept and there's no goal set by approve. So because February is a time for applicant, so you can see that, yeah, like, but however, like out of 18 people, there's only 1 people got converted, and then there are 70 people who actually did not get the opportunity that one. So this is a time for you to talk to your people, like, okay, understanding like why the conversion rate is so long, why you are taking 13.7 days to actually convert these people. Like, what's the process that's wrong? Like, is it the LC not responsive, or your people is not, actually not performing? Then you look at, okay, your member had 4 people. Then you look at, okay, is it because IGV has lack of member? Then you discuss with VP PM. Okay, how can I increase the talent capacity, and what kind of strategy I should do to make sure that I can earn, I can make sure that I can having more approval, or maybe it's just not running out of member. It's probably because your LCVP are not doing PA response rate, they are not doing PA score, and yeah, that there's no PA score and there's no one implementing team standard. So this is the thing for you to understand in the product, and yeah, and also understanding your sales, what are the target, and you are not doing any partner contact. There's no sales activity in February, then you need to understand with your VP PD, what are they doing. If you do not have VP PD, then asking the responsible person in PD, like, what's the thing that's going that you do not do any contact, like there's no calling for partner. So this is the thing for you to understand, and then overall you can just see, okay, see, there's no capacity being done, and then overall your LC only have 14 people. So I'm not sure, one thing is I'm not sure about how accurate this data is. So one thing is I need to emphasize here is making sure that the data that you input is really correct, and the number of members should be include your VP as well. So that's the thing. Yeah, so need to revise again to make sure that, like, when your LC coaches is communicating with you, really tell your LC coaches that, okay, this data is actually inaccurate, so that your LC coaches can let us know, and also at the same time your LC coach can let you know that how can you fill in the data more correctly next time, so we can do a better analysis. And then for you to know is, like, yeah, like you have 1.2 months of reserve, you can survive for 1 month without any income, and then yeah, and then your debt ratio is 0.29, which is pretty low, and yeah, you only have 1 short-term liability. So which means that your basically, if you pay your debt with the reserve that you have, basically your LC will not be sustainable. So here's the thing, like, how can you make sure that your product is driving revenue? Like, when you plan for your OGV and IGV, you actually plan for having losses, then how can you make sure that your LC can be sustainable when you actually plan to have losses in a month? So these are the things for you to identify that, yeah, like, is it because you plan for losses because this month you expected not to have income and then only have expenses? If that's the case, then communicate with your LC coaches, because when your LC coaches have a set of data, what they need is the context, so that they can understand that is this thing happen because of what, so that you can communicate through, so that they are common understanding on what is going on in your LC, so they can provide a better suggestion. Because it's looking on data itself is not good enough, we need to understand context as well, but always not using context as excuses for you to not able to improve more or achieving more. So these are the part that you and your LC coaches need to sit down together and balance it more. So this is a part for the product performance on how can you analyze your product. So, and overall you can see, okay, how was your plan versus actual, and how was your process time? Are you fast enough? Are you convert good enough? Like, out of 100 people that apply, is it like 80% of them actually got the opportunity in Malaysia, or maybe only 20%? Then what about the rest of the 80 people who actually apply? Why they are not getting any reply yet? Why are they getting rejected? Is the reason that you reject people is like, is it logical, or you reject them because of, oh, they are not diverse enough? I need to make sure my product have like my IGV project have 10 people from 10 different countries. Then this is not the value proposition of our product. So these are the conversation you should have with your VP to make sure that it can drive the performance. And also, do we have enough sufficient member in our department or not? Like, for example, Penang only have 4 IGV member. And then, yeah, like, how many projects you're running? Then what's the thing that PM can do to make sure that it can have get more right people in the team? And also, like, do your team leader doing team standard or not? Do your team leader actually set KPF for each month or not? Then if not, then how do you expect you can achieve your goal when everyone doesn't know what is their personal individual contribution to the overall target for the department? And then also, is your product is actually profitable or not? If your LC only have like if your LC have negative reserve, or your LC only have 1 month reserve, then you need to make sure that how can you make sure that you can cut the expenses? How can you make sure that you can maximize yeah, like by using lesser expenses to maximize the profit that you can get out of it? So how can you make sure that you can do a smarter investment, do a smarter marketing initiative, read the data, what's the thing that your market likes the most, and then from that making the right decision to make sure that your product can be more profitable and sustainable. So after that, step 4 is go to the second last page and look for this. when you look at this band, like for example, this is Penang, you can see that the performance index is 3.31 and the health index is 3.94. So you know that both are equally bad. Like they are less than the medium. The minimum is like 5. So this is a part that you look at, okay, for performance index, what's the thing that it does? So if you are here, if you see this place is a red line, so you are at the underperforming state, and this is a yellow average health, and then after that average performance, and this is performing. So if you look at, okay, right now I'm in Penang, I'm underperforming right now. So what is the element in the performance index that I actually need to improve? So 3.31. So I realized that my relative growth is really, really bad. So you go to the report itself and then you read it. Okay, my relative growth is only 1.2. Why is it so low? So you look at that. OGV applicant used to be 12, 14, so it's growing. But when I look in IGV, from 119 applicants become 18. Then you need to talk with your VP IGV, like, hey, what is going on? Or when your LC coaches ask you, then you need to answer. You need to have answer in your head, like telling you, like, why is it not working? What's the strategy that's not working? Or your VP are not performing, or your people are not performing because you do not implement team standard, because you do not implement PA response rate, PA response, like performance appraisal, which is you do not set KPI, remember. Then understand from that. Then from this data, it helps you to make better judgment on that. Or you just do not have enough member. But yeah, but eventually, like 4 people to attract 18 applicants is actually still underutilizing the human resources. Although one people only attract 1 people to apply, which is really, really low. So these are the things for you to understand, like what's the thing that doesn't work well. And then after that, for plan versus actual, yeah, like the goal that I set is 29, only achieve 14. So this is less than average, and this one as well. So what's the thing that I can do next month to boost the performance so that I can cover back the plan, the gap that I'm having in last month. And then after that, yeah, this is the process speed. So basically you can see that process speed, you are doing quite well in applicant to accept, but not you're doing quite well in accept to approve, but not applicant to accept. So you actually take very long time, especially like for your OGV and IGV, for people to get accepted in the opportunity. Then you need to look, okay, in IR, or what's the thing that people are very slow, why is the thing that sending entity are not responding to you. Yeah, like for IGV, and what's the thing that hosting entity are not replying to you. Talk to your LCVP to understand that, so you can have better process time. Then you can achieve your better, you can have better applicants, so the applicant don't lose out. You can attract more people, and then yeah, and then this help you to understand it. And then after that, once you understand that, you look at your health index. Okay, what's the thing I'm really bad in health index? Okay, my talent capacity. Why? Because I did not implement anything. I didn't implement peer response. I didn't implement peer score. I didn't implement team standard. Then I need to sit down with my VP PM and tell them that you are not performing at all. Like, why people are not doing it? Can you tell me what's the challenges? Then after that, okay, what's the thing I can do as LCP to make sure that everyone, team leader in the team, really know and the importance and really implementing it. So these are the things that the conversation you should need to have with a VP, and yeah, like have this kind of conversation with your LC coach to seek support and get some idea on how can you implement it better. And yeah, and then after that, you can see that for financial, like something that you see you are doing quite well is complete index, which is 7.4, but your financial strength is 3.25. Then you look in the data, okay, 3.25 is contributed by what? It's contributed by LC sustainability. My LC exchange income cannot cover my total expenses. I'm doing losses in my LC so far. And then if you look at exchange cost is 34, and then you have total expenses, which is 76, which means that you have another 30 plus K of non-exchange costs. And then you need to know, like, why are you incurring so many non-exchange costs? What kind of activity your LC is doing that you're actually having so many costs? Because one thing is we want to make sure that most of your expenses and your income are from exchange. If you are doing a lot of non-exchange expenses, right, then you need to revise the budget again and understand that what kind of expenses that I'm doing so far, then why am I spending so much money on something that is not even driving exchange. So these are the things that for you to understand that, am I utilizing my financial resources good enough or not? And then after that, debt ratio, for you to understand, okay, my debt ratio is in medium, which means that like it can be lower, but right now it's still like 5. So what's the thing I can do to reduce my debt? If my LC is sustainable, like I don't have enough money to pay the debt, then the first thing is, okay, if I want to pay the debt, one thing is I need to cut my non-exchange costs for next month so that I can save more money, and also cut my exchange costs, like what are the expenses is not necessary to be spent and I'm actually doing it. Then these are the things for you to really be more conscious about your financial expenses. And then also, yeah, like your MOFR, like your reserve and only able to sustain for a month. So you need to know that how can I increase my reserve until 6 months so I can be healthy and able to sustain for 6 months without having any income. So these are the decisions that you need to make to improve your financial situation. Yeah, and for complete, basically you do quite well in the sense that, yeah, like 61, you have 40 complete. So this is the thing that you know, okay, I'm doing quite well in customer experience. Then what's the thing I can improve on for that? So this is the thing that help you to understand more on your strategy. So after you understand, you need to know, you know that I'm talking to them, I'm talking to my LCVP TM to make sure that PM to make sure that they actually start to do team standard implementation, and also PA response rate, and also PS improving PS score. At the same time, yeah, my financial strength, like why my VP is actually having so many non-exchange courses. What's the thing I can do to stop that from happening? So basically, we are reaching almost the end. Yeah, so that's the step 7, and step 8 is make the decision to improve your product and LC performance. After reading all the data, now is the time for you to make the right decisions. What kind of conversation you should have with your VP? Ask your LC coach for help to give you more in a suggestion on how can you improve that. So yeah, so that's all from me, and I'm opening this space for Q&A. So anyone of you have any question? I'm sorry for the delay. Yeah, so we can have like a 5 minutes Q&A for everything. Yeah, so anyone of you actually have any questions you want to ask, then you can ask here, no? Then I can answer your question. If you are looking on your own LC, then it's good. Then you can ask me about your LC data.
So far for me, no. If I have anything, I will direct to you by tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, because I'm your LC code. Read your SONA report in your OD model, okay?
Yes, boss.
Okay, cool. What about other? Like, Ing, do you have any questions? Okay, cool. Yes. Wan Chin?
I think I have questions. So for process time, right, I was facing problem like because my VP they don't know like which process time they should put. For example, because for example goal versus fracture, like they have their goal so they can put in their goal for process time. So is it they need to put in the national process time or they set the process time themselves?
Yeah, talking about this, okay, yeah, talking about this, I think something that we will improve on the next report is, hey, Jesse, you're here, I take note on that. I just remember it. Okay, so one thing is, we shouldn't have any process time goal already. We will take it out, so the goal itself will automatically become the national process time. Yeah, so these are the things that for you. Yeah, thank you for the question, really good question. So for you to know, as for all the LCP to know here is, every month when we do survey or when we do report, we realize that certain thing that, oh, it's not good enough or it can be better, and then we will keep improving and changing the report and also changing the survey. So when we have any changes, we will just let you know so that we can improve it. Like for example, we are having a plan to, like, we will set a deadline for LC to change their goal every month in a specific date, so that when our SONA report, your LC will not put your goal, you will put the goal that you put in your product tracker. So for example, OGV, Benjamin will set, like for example, by 11 of by 5th of each March, and then you can change the goal, and then after that Benjamin will be the one who approve the change of your goal, so that you can put the number that you did not achieve in February into your March, so you can sum up the number, and after that Benjamin will approve it, and then yeah, and then when we do SONA report, we will straight away get the data from the MC tracker rather than LC doing it, because sometimes those LCVP, they forget or they do not know how to do it properly. They will just, oh yeah, I think it's my goal is 3, and then after that they overachieve it, while their goal is probably like 50, you know. So we are trying to avoid this kind of human error, and also data like improve data integrity to make sure the accuracy of the data itself. Yeah, any questions? Yeah, Jesse, you have anything to add on?
Okay. I think the only thing is that when you go through the report, or like in general when you're filling in the survey, if there's anything you notice like mistakes, or like if you think that there's ways that we can improve, just submit your feedback. Because I think that a lot of times when we do this, we try to think in your perspective, but if you can like directly give us the feedback about this, then it'll be good. Like if you as LCP, if you're using it, or if your VPs give you the feedback, then you can directly ask them to fill in the form. The link is attached to every report lah, basically. Yeah. for the AM one and for the LC one. Yeah, that's it, I think.
I have another question.
Yes.
So for example, because SONA report always come out maybe 10 or 12, like something like this of the month. So after that, when we see and then we want to make changes on our LC goal or something like this, so can we change it or we should do it on the next month?
Yeah, so these are the thing that I'm still in the middle of finalizing it, so we can actually align everything. But mostly the report itself will be reporting on what happened on last month. So yeah, so it wouldn't affect a lot. So for example, you were now you are March, right? So if we set a deadline for you, okay, so let's talk about April. So in April we set a deadline for your LC to change the goal. And then the MCVP need to approve. But when you receive the SONA report, is to report on your performance on March, but not April. So that's the thing. You need to understand, no? Like it has no like direct relationship, but at the same time, we want to do it earlier so that, yeah, like your LC can able to design your strategy fast enough so that you can achieve it. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying, right?
Okay.
Cool. Thanks for asking questions. Any questions for the rest? Cool. Yeming, you have any question, you can type. Yeah, cool. So for you to know is a lot of time, if you really do not know how to make inferences or you're not sure if your inferences is correct or not, you can just make sure you did your inferences and then after that, send me your inferences for feedback or you just send it to your LC coaches because we actually give education to LC coaches as well. And for you to know is we're going to change the whole coaching timeline is because right now you have one-to-one conversation like coaching with your LC coaches on first and third week of the month, right? So we're going to change it on second and fourth week of the month. So in second week of the month, once our report, we want to send it by 10 of each month, and then once you receive it, and then you can straight away sit down and discuss with your LC coaches about this. And then after that, you discuss about like how can I improve my strategy and things like that. And after that, in the fourth week of the month, you and your LCP will sit down together and set KPI for your next coming month. So these are the changes that we'll do to adapt so you can actually have conversation with your LC coaches. So when your LC coaches come to you, they already know what kind of condition you're in. So you have conversation with them and you also be prepared with the context as well. So both of you will sit down together and discuss, okay, here's the inferences that I think. What do you think? And here's the inferences that I have. What do you think? And then provide context. Okay, here's the thing that's happening. And then after that, come up with a solution. What kind of thing I should focus on? Especially when both your performance and health index are not really high, and then you will like, okay, what's the thing? Which indicator I should focus first before I proceed to next? And then yeah, have conversation on how can I talk with my VP about this? What kind of data? Like how should I present my data to my VP? So have this kind of conversation with your LC coaches, and then we make decisions, start to make decisions based on data rather than based on your own feeling or your intuitions or your just your instinct. You know, like I've been Isaac long enough to know that this is going on. So that's the thing that we hope that SONA report can help you in making a better decision for your LCR, and then to let you know that we are always there to support you and helping you to improve your operations and your performance and your health as well. Yeah. So if we do not have any question, then we can close this space. Is that okay? Okay, cool. So thank you so much. Yeah. Ing and Yeming and Iggy and Sean and Shabelle and CK are okay, right?
Yes, from CK.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we will end this space one and then yeah. So I will send this output to all of you as soon as possible. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you so much. Bye. Have a great night. Yeah. Bye bye. Take care.